Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome back. So for my next project, I have this little octagon mold and we are going to do this with some of these flower assortments here. And then I also have this string of lights here that I'm going to be adding in here as well. So I already mixed up my resin, got it degassed, and added my I have this called Diamond Dust or Diamond's White. This stuff is really cool. It kind of adds like a little bit of a sparkle. So I got that mixed up already. I've been kind of fighting with my new debubbler, trying to figure that out and whatnot. So I was trying to do all that off camera. For this project, I am using my T-Expert Pure Glossy. So I mixed up, let's see what it was here, 400 milliliters. I am going to try and do this in 2 layers, just because of how deep the mold is, and yeah. So first things first is I'm going to pour a small amount in here just to cover my base. Okay, I think that should be good. Alright, so I kind of got an idea earlier on how I want to set these in here. So we are going to get started with that. And just use my little stick here to push this in, make sure it's all covered. Okay. And then, yeah, like some little purple moss here. Primarily want to do that around the bottom. And then got these little bits, kind of like that being behind that green piece. So I'm going to slide this in here. I got another little leaf set here. Make sure that that one's kind of behind my moss a little bit. And then the rest of the also place here. Covering that up. I did want to try and get all of the flowers and everything covered in my first layer. And I got these little purple flowers here. So I was going to tuck those in on that side. And then we got these cute little pink, I forget what these are called, but we got those there. And then we do have this standalone little bud here. because of all the petals and that, I'm going to take some resin and try and pour it over the top of this carefully. And then we're going to flip it upside down and put it in. Just try and reduce the amount of bubbles we got here. And then we're going to tuck that in up here, this corner. Got some stray purple flowers. I'll set those in there. I'm going to try and make it look like they're all still connected. There we go. Let's see if we can get like a little bunch of these over here. Okay. So for my lights, I kind of want to try and get these so that they're like a little bit in front of and kind of in between and around my flowers here. It's kind of a long strand of light, so we got some play on how we want to arrange these in here. So I'm only going to try and get about half of the strand into this layer, and then my next pour we'll get the rest of it in, kind of like a background. Right now I'm just trying to manipulate it, get it, because I want to be able to kind of have maybe like a 3D effect with the lighting. Down in here. I think that's probably about where I'll stop with trying to get the lights in. Kind of clean my gloves off a little bit. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and get the rest of our resin from this cup in here. It is starting to get pretty thick. Like I said, I was struggling with my debubbler here, so it took me a little while to get it to where I wanted it. So hopefully this turns out kind of how I'd like. So the Pure Glossy max depth of pouring, I believe it said, was about 1 inch to 1.5 inches max depth. And this is about a 2-inch mold, so I'm gonna try to have it so that it's done in 2 pours. Might need to do a 3rd layer, we'll see. There is about an hour in between pours. So in about an hour, I'm gonna come back and get my next layer poured in. I am going to be doing this all relatively the same, just with a little bit of diamond dust in there and the clear resin. So I don't necessarily think I'm going to record all of that. We'll see. Depends on how the day goes here. I've been having problems with uploading my videos to YouTube here. My one with my turtle and critters, I've been trying to upload it to YouTube for approximately 12 hours now, and last I checked it was at about 68%, so I don't know if it's an internet issue or something with YouTube itself. For this one, I'm going to take the editing and whatnot to my desktop and just do it from there, see if that helps. Hoping it's just an internet problem. So we shall see. Okay, so there is our first layer. We're going to go ahead and just let that sit for about an hour, and then we will be back to do the next layer. See you then. All right, so it's been about an hour and we are set. I don't want to make too much of an indent, but it did kind of poke down in here and it seems pretty solid. So we're going to go ahead and pour in our next layer here. I think I added a little bit more diamond dust in this one than I wanted, but it'll be all right. So we'll just get that in there, make sure we got nice even coverage. I did kind of play around with the light a little bit to make sure that I got that where I want it. So now we just gotta kind of fill up around that, make sure that it stays under our resin here. So I might actually have to do, the way this is going, I think I might be doing 4 layers total, maybe 5. I guess we'll have to see how it works out here. Is that layer. Definitely want to make sure that all of my flowers are covered at this point. So that all we have left to worry about is just making sure the lights are in there. Which I think we should be good. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to record for this so far. I will go ahead and keep adding my layers in throughout the day here. And then we will be back all together when it's time to mold. We'll see you then. Bye. Hello everyone. We are back. And we are ready to demold our little octagon here. So I did end up having to do more than 2 pours. I think I did a total of 4 to 5 layers on this piece. So yeah, as you can see, my little diamond dust here did its job. It's very sparkly. So we're gonna go ahead and get this out and see how it looks. So this is my first time doing a piece of this magnitude. I've never quite poured something so I haven't poured a piece that's like this big and this deep. I poured deep pieces before, but nothing of this size. So I'm kind of anxious to see how this turned out overall. Does feel like I am going to have to sand these edges down a little bit. They're pretty sharp. So something to always keep in mind when you're demolding. You know, you don't want to cut yourself or anything. So be weary of those edges. Alright. Popped out. And oh wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. Okay, and then I did do the lights in this one. So we'll go ahead and turn that on and see how it looks. There we go. That is really pretty. I like how that turned out. That is awesome. Yep. So that is how my little octagon with the flowers in it and everything turned out. Hope you guys enjoy. In the meantime, stay creative, everybody. Bye.